Okay, people, so it is August 20th, 2020. I am transferring files onto my external hard drive, right? And then once I'm done that, I'll have some room on my computer to upload what's on my camera. And basically what I've been doing, people, for the most part, now I have been in the kitchen, whether I include them in with these videos in terms of doing normal things, trying to live a normal life, remains to be seen. Because ultimately it's pointless, people. Seriously. Right? I don't think human beings realize how in jeopardy they are in terms of being hunted down by things. I'm coming to terms with it, people. I have been doing my own research based on my own experiences as to what has been happening to my family. And the more I do the research on these things that call themselves human beings, the more I'm convinced that this is beyond a two-tiered system, people. Okay? To put it in a nutshell, and I've mentioned it towards the end of this video, the more I do what I'm doing and I see the divide, and I know firsthand how the predatory behavior is in terms of basically what stalks my family as a whole, and for what purpose. Whether it's for money, in terms of kidnapping Uncle John for his inheritance that he was never told about, and anything else that they thought that they were going to get, like a superannuation life insurance policy, which he didn't have. So they should never have gotten one, people, because that was canceled when he turned 65 and they took him when he was 76. Okay, there's no reason for them to have gotten a superannuation life insurance policy on the death of Mr. John Bernard Duncan, because there was no life insurance policy. But they stole his inheritance. And then, we know what happened to ShaMay. And the more that I work on what I work on, the more I'm starting to understand what happened to ShaMay in terms of what I'm dealing with. Most people are oblivious to it because it's only things that you would see in the movies, people, right? But you see, I always go back and I think, why was that school school in general? She was in kindergarten and a Chinese teacher smacked her on the face because she didn't want to get off the slide and come in for recess. Okay? ShaMay was 5 years old. Okay? But years and years and years and years and years and years and years ago. Could you imagine what children are having to go through now? With this 6 feet apart, some of them are having to wear masks. They can't intermingle. It's complete idiocy. So that made her not want to go back to school. I had to pull her out. She refused to go to school, people. That's how I started homeschooling ShaMay. ShaMay loved being in school, but when that teacher smacked her in kindergarten, that was it. So I left her home for over a year, and then by the time she was in grade 2, I let her go back, and everything was fine until grade 5. And then somehow, some way, she hooked up with a friend who happened to be Native that had some issues. And I don't know what was going on, but ShaMay stuck up for her friend, you know, on the playground in grade 5. Next thing you know it, I got the principal calling me up, saying that my daughter's posturing, you know, because ShaMay would get nervous and she'd smirk, because that's what she did when she was nervous. She'd smirk, and she'd, you know, move her body around, and they seen it as threatening, and wanted to suspend her for a week, and tried to get her counseling. Just like they accused her of lying when she was 5, and said I needed to get her counseling because she was lying, that the teacher didn't smack her. But you see, people, I was working on the nonprofit, and the last thing I wanted to do was bring scandal to the nonprofit by fighting with the fucking school system when I was trying to promote a universal school meal program. So, you know, I just pulled her out of school until she was ready to go back. Right? I didn't rock no boats. So by the time grade 5 came, right, and they're trying to say, oh, you know, she's posturing, you know, she's threatening a teacher, she's smirking, she's smiling, she thinks it's funny, and I'm like, no, she's nervous, she's, you know, sticking up for her friend because you guys are attacking her friend, right? You know, I know my daughter, like, fuck you. So I pulled her out of school, okay? Anyway, people, she went back into grade 10 or 11. She was an honor student. When she went into school, right, I pleaded with the fucking, what is it called, principal? I pleaded with the principal to put her into music, right, because she had taught herself how to read music, people, and play the piano. No, he gave me every excuse under the sun, people. Well, there's no room in band. We don't have any more room. Nope, can't do it. Nope. Okay. She wanted to become a nurse, but they didn't give her what she needed in terms of the sciences. Instead, they put her in home ec, right? You know, family planning and tourism, and told her to, and tried to get her to get a career in tourism. Anything to steer her away from being a nurse, people. But that's because ShaMay was already targeted for her body. That's that two-tiered system that we have here in British Columbia, Canada, people. And that's why we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, namely of young people dying. By overdose. It was an accident. Nope, sorry, suicide. Get over it. They were a closet drug addict. You didn't know. They did it to themselves. They basically deserved what they got. Move along. That's the attitude out here, people. And it's running at full freaking steam. Oh, yeah. And, of course, these individuals, as they get up with their tongue, will tell you that there's more deaths because the drugs are more toxic, because they can't cross the border now, which is a bunch of fucking crock. You know that. And that everybody's self-isolating, so therefore nobody's around to Narcan. All these drug addicts that we have in British Columbia, Canada, year after 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 year. As the cops do shit. Absolute fucking shit. Except maybe take videos and then pass the phone around and then, hey, did you get this? Did you get the stuff? Did you get the cell? Well, what do you mean, did you get the fucking stuff? He's a body dude guy. He's supposed to go in and get a dead body, right? What stuff is he gonna get? If he was getting the body, Mr. Policeman, you would see him walk out with the freaking body. Oh, what kind of stuff were you expecting him to get? Anyway. I don't care, people. My life is in so much jeopardy. It's been in jeopardy for a long, long, long time. I have 3 family members who are dead and have basically all died alone. Uncle John was tucked away like Fraser Health's dirty secret, off in the boonies in some old folks' home, locked under key, and died alone after his brain was destroyed with their drugs and shock therapy and anything else trauma that they did to him. ShaMay died alone, basically, in the basement, as the cops, the coroner, the hospital, Surrey Memorial Hospital, right? And the paramedics covered it up so that they could put her body on display for 9 days, people. They put it on display and they auctioned it off. That's what they did. And that's why her tongue was hanging out, ready to touch the fucking floor. They had to stretch the shit out so that something else could move in. I mean, I know it's off the wall, right? But it's pretty spot on when you look at what we're dealing with. Yeah, I can only imagine how they fucking feed. How do you think these things are feeding on us? They're feeding on us, people. And I'm not afraid to say it, okay? I'm not. I'm working on proving it. Well, I can't prove that they're feeding on us. They're the ones with those videos. We'll never see those videos. But I can prove that they exist. I can prove that they're nothing but scoundrels and devils and criminals and evil, the most evil of all evil that you can possibly imagine on this planet called Earth, where human beings happen to live. The only thing is, people, we're not human beings. We're cattle. We're cattle. And with this so-called virus, we're all getting our ears chipped now. Okay? And if we're not getting our ears chipped with a tag, with a number, we're getting it branded onto our skin. Because they're feeding on us. Alright? They've been feeding on my family for a while now. And when they're not feeding on us, they're injuring us so that they can feed on us at a later date. Right? And they have their own little network of friends. And because they think they're superior, they keep it in the nest. Together, in the nest. I wouldn't even call them a fucking family. Okay? They don't understand what family means. Because they're cold-blooded. Alright? That's why they didn't want ShaMay working in the healthcare system. Because the healthcare system is infested with this problem. And that's why when people supposedly die a week before it even happens, working on proving that too, people. Okay? There are no witnesses. The loved ones aren't allowed to be with them as they die. The loved ones aren't allowed to see how they're being treated before they die. And it's all because they don't want the loved ones to know what's really going on, people. Because if they seen what was going on, like I seen, and a whole lot of other people seen what was going on with ShaMay's body, there would be a public uproar. So these things need to keep it in the fucking dark because they can't exist unless they fucking slither around in the fucking dark and do evil things in the dark. Okay? But you see, I'm not an evil person, people. So I don't have to do anything in the fucking dark, okay? Just because I swear doesn't make me evil, doesn't make me bad. What it does, it makes me determined. It makes me determined because as it is right now, my human family does not have a future on this planet called Earth until we eradicate the problem, the infestation, right? And I hope to God, I really do hope to God, more and more and more people grow some freaking balls and start fighting back.
so when we traveled across British Columbia, we heard about those folks every single day. And people said to us, yes, we want a bigger economy, not a bigger government. People said to us they didn't want us to leave their kids with a huge bill to pay for services that we wanted but couldn't afford to pay for ourselves. People said to us they wanted us to cut middle class taxes and keep their taxes low so that they can keep more of the money that they work so hard for. And most importantly, British Columbians want to have a chance to get a great, good paying, secure job that's going to mean they never have to worry about looking after their kids. And tonight, British Columbians elected a remarkable and diverse team of BC Liberal candidates in every region of British Columbia. I am so proud of all of our candidates who ran, those who
Okay, I had to bring it back. Once it gets to 7, watch this kid's mouth. We're at 4, 5, going into 6. What the hell? Let me stop this and try it again.
It is
Look at this.
tough and gutsy to put your name forward for public office.
Seen that, right?
They believed in. It is tough and gutsy to put your name forward for public office. And I want to say thank you to all of the candidates who ran for this. Thank you.
Doesn't that sound familiar?
To work across party lines, and they believed in. It is tough and gutsy to put your name forward for public office, and I want to say thank you to all of the candidates who ran for this. Thank you.
I just stopped it, copied and paste. See? That's the tongue. Some kind of tongue. Okay, so I'm going to let this finish. And then I'm going to put it back a bit and do it again. Oh God, I didn't even have it on. Okay, I didn't even have it on. I was going on about how, or at least I don't think it was on, or maybe I turned it off, or I don't know, but I was going on about how they didn't want ShaMay being a nurse. People, they don't want honest human beings working in our hospitals. Hell no. Not when you're dealing with stuff like this. Okay. There is something seriously wrong. 1,500 people almost every year dying from fentanyl alone in British Columbia, Canada, as the coroner, BC coroner's office, police, hospitals, the whole 9 yards, public union sector as a whole are covering up murder, as in the case of ShaMay, right? And I'm sure there's a lot of ShaMays out there, as they blame each and every individual of killing themselves, whether by accident or suicide. However, look what we're dealing with. Get ready. Here it comes.
So it is my intention to continue
Can't keep it in.
did tell us tonight
Kind of
that
makes me
they
wonder
want us to do
why they stretched the shit out of ShaMay's tongue. Why, people? Why?
They want us to work together.
What was the purpose?
They want us to work across party lines. And they want us to find a way to get along so that we can all work for the province that all of us love so very, very much. They want us to work together for a strong BC.
Just words, people.
Bright future for our children and grandchildren.
Just words, people.
And both Dr. Weaver and John Morgan ran strong, tough, competitive campaigns. And I want to thank
Here it is again.
them for the work that they did and all of their candidates in making sure they stood up strong for the things they believed in. Because as I always say, the only poll that counts
You need to hear the rhetoric.
is the one
Speaking with
on
forked tongue. Literally,
election
people.
day,
Literally.
and voters
If this is beyond being figurative, okay?
know best.
There is a reason why they didn't want ShaMay to be a nurse.
They reminded us
Because she was targeted for something else. Exactly where she ended up. That's what she was targeted for, people. She was a human being. She was targeted for being a human being. One that had eggs to harvest. ShaMay was extremely fertile. And one that had high IQ, people. Point is, she was a human being. She was targeted because she was a human being. They didn't want her going into the healthcare system working as a nurse with morality, as a human being.
Our job is to lead.
Okay? This Christy Clark, if you want to call her that, she doesn't represent BC. She represents what you're looking at in terms of what the fuck is coming out of that mouth. Okay? That's what she represents. And she uses tax dollars and deceivement to harvest human beings for her supporters to feed off of. Okay, let's start putting this into perspective. Okay? How the hell we got to this point, I don't know. But we're here. That's why they want to vaccinate everybody. It's like getting a tag on an ear for a cow or a brand. Like you branding the hide with a hot iron, or they tag the ear. Well, that's what the vaccination is about. They want you 6 feet apart so that they can experiment with their energy weapons as they bring in 5G. But the energy weapons are already here, people. I have them going through my yard and I have them going through my house. Okay? Just separating people makes it easier for them to target the individual. There it is again. You see that? You're watching, right?
There are thousands of families
Seen that?
supporting jobs on the line, and we need to be strong. We cannot afford to be weak. We need to be focused. We cannot be distracted by partisanship. We need to be united. We cannot be divided. And so I will work with the other parties to do what needs to be done.
1,500 people
Fighting
died in 2017 from fentanyl. It was over 1,500. 2018, well, it was either 1,000 or another 15. I think it was 1,500 too. ShaMay was one of those numbers, right? And then supposedly it dropped in 2019, but it's like tripled this year. Because it's a feeding frenzy, people. That's why. Okay, this is... BC is in the middle of a feeding frenzy. Just kind of have to go through it, right? If I just give it to you in little bits and batches, you're not going to clue in. Right? But you're probably in denial. Right? None of us want to think that we got individuals hunting us down and feeding off of us as they're licking their lips right? Just thinking about it.
British Columbian
All right.
stepped up as a
Yeah.
volunteer.
There was a reason they didn't want ShaMay to be a nurse, people. They did everything in their power to distract her away from being a nurse. And they couldn't even nurture her musical talents. Nope. Nope.
But especially the tens of thousands of BC liberals who believed in me and our candidates and the values that we fight for every day. Our free enterprise coalition is strong. It is as strong as it has ever been. And campaigns can be tough. They can be tiring, but what has kept me going is that knowing that all of you are there and you've got my back. And I want to thank and in addition to thanking you guys, I want to thank this guy here. Hamish. Having a mom in politics is just not easy. And and he has put up with a lot. And I
You watching
want
the
to
lip?
say thank you
Under it? Do you see it bulging? Do you see it?
sharing with me, for always being there with me, and for always being So, this is why we all do politics for our kids. And, and it certainly isn't for the glory. Because if you're in politics for the glory, you will be disappointed. If you do it because you want to be loved, I think you'd be better off getting a dog. We do it because of the people that we love so much. And everything that I do so that British Columbians can look after the people that they love. And that is my promise to you. When I get up every day, I'll be thinking about how I can help you build the life that you want.
There's no life, people.
And how
This is a nightmare.
together we
Okay? This is a literal nightmare. It's been a nightmare for a long, long, long time.
Because I believe in the people of British Columbia. People who can defy the doubters. Who can accomplish anything if you're
Well, exposing the truth is one of them. Alright? Now, truth will set you free. Alright?
have a very bright future ahead of us.
Right.
I have always believed that because I have always believed in
Who does that?
all of you. So let's get out there.
It makes me think of ShaMay's tongue. And like, why the fuck did they want to stretch her tongue out like they did? The tongue is still sitting there. There. Now it's in.
Seize that bright future for our province.
No. Because this was when ShaMay was in school. And she wanted to be a nurse. And the teachers were fucking her over. Right? Telling her she couldn't do this. And she couldn't take band. And she couldn't go to science. And no. She couldn't do those. She had to take home ec and tourism. Right? That's where they placed her. Even though she requested other things, they didn't give it to her, people. Nope. Because she was not like them. ShaMay was a real human being. And they don't want real human beings working in the hospital system, because if they did work in the hospital system, the whistleblowers would come out and expose these so-called individuals for what they really are. Okay? Okay, I want you to watch this. Let's see if we can catch it. Where are we? Hold on. We'll do it without this. Just watch her face. Okay, let's try this again. You're supposed to be looking in this area, right in here. Okay, just out of curiosity,